going on, everyone? RC Retro here, and thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. Here with me is my Tamiya Madcap. This was one of the first vintage RC restorations I did when I first got back into the hobby a few years ago. It has a TBG body on it and MCI stickers. You know, the Madcap is kit number 58082 and was one of the many chassis using the ASTUTE gearbox. You know, most people view the Madcap as a less expensive alternative to the ASTUTE. Now, in all reality, the Madcap really proved to be a more durable option than the ASTUTE. If you are a subscriber to my channel and you've seen any of my previous videos on the ASTUTE, you know that I've gone into great detail talking about how the ASTUTE, you know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, was meant to compete with associated RC10, but however proved to be over-engineered, fragile, and had many points of weakness on it. And this is why the Madcap, which came out after the ASTUTE obviously, started to become a more appealing option for RC enthusiasts out there. Now, the Madcap was rebranded shortly after it came out, with different color shocks that were red and a different body, and that was kit number 58083, and I'm talking about the Saint Dragon. Now, in my opinion, I'm not really a fan of this buggy because, well, it looks like a bug, and I think the body is hideous, and if I'm offending anybody who's a fan of the Saint Dragon, I apologize, but that's my opinion. You know, interestingly enough, these blue shocks on here and the red ones on the Saint Dragon are actually friction shocks, kind of like pogo sticks. You know, they're not oil filled. But with this, I was fortunate enough to get these brand new mint condition tires. And the thing with these tires are they share the front ones with the Bearhawk and the ASTUTE. And they're on the harder side to find these days. So anybody who's doing a restoration of those cars knows that these are, I guess you can consider them kind of rare. And when they do pop up, you know, because they're harder to find, you know, who's ever selling them is going to be charging top dollar for them. So, you know, I'm not going to run this with these wheels. I do have spares that I am going to put on and give it a blast. But I mean, what's my take on this? I mean, it's a pretty decent car. I mean, one of the weaknesses of the Madcap was that it had a plastic motor mount. So if you were going to run a motor other than the stock 540 can that came with it, you'd probably want to invest in getting one of those metal motor mounts and replace the plastic pogo stick shocks here, and take out the bushings in the car and, you know, replace them with some ball bearings. And then it would actually be a pretty decent runner at that point. I mean, I actually do have the metal motor mount. When I purchased this from somebody in Japan and they sent it to me, it was a bag with basically a whole nother differential and the metal motor mount and a whole bag of spare parts. I guess that person was rebuilding this and just put all the best stuff on it and just sent me whatever was left over. But the metal motor mount was there. I don't plan on putting it on. I don't know, I'm debating. I'm thinking about just keeping it completely stock and then putting it back on the shelf and, you know, having a shelf queen. But I do feel like I have to run this at least once to capture it in all of its glory on video. So that's exactly what I did. Check it out. Just a quick update. Yes, I know you want to see this Madcap running already, but I just wanted to share that I put it down on the ground, and when I hit the throttle, it was making a grindy, high-pitched noise. So back to the workbench I went, took apart the gearbox, cleaned out the differential, and while I was at it, figured since everything is apart, might as well just replace the plastic motor mount with the metal one that I was showing you before. So there it is. And I also took out the plastic bearings and replaced them with metal ball bearings. You gotta be fucking